waking up gasping in my old bed. Sheets tangled around me like a noose. I bolted upright, heart slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape. The alarm clock blinked 6:47 a.m., July 15th, 2018. Not 2025. Not the hospital room with beeping machines and pitying nurses. My hands smooth, unscarred. No wedding band digging into swollen fingers from years of thankless labor. I was 32 again, staring at the faded wallpaper in our starter home in suburban Chicago. The one we'd bought with dreams of white picket fences and minivan soccer runs.
种星 Reborn.
The word slithered through my mind in Vietnamese. A ghost from my immigrant mom's bedtime stories. But this wasn't some fairy tale. This was my second chance to claw back what they'd stolen. My life. My kids. My goddamn soul. I touched my face. Felt the soft skin that hadn't yet been etched with laugh lines turned bitter. Downstairs, the coffee maker gurgled like it always did, and I could hear the faint clatter of dishes. Evelyn, my mother-in-law, already in the kitchen, playing the doting grandma before the sun even crested Lake Michigan. She'd helped from day one, swooping in after the twins were born like a hawk claiming territory.
Oh,
Brooklyn, you're so overwhelmed. Let me handle the bottles, she'd coo. Her silver bob impeccable. Her voice syrupy sweet with that North Shore accent that screamed old money. Back then, I'd been grateful, exhausted new mom. Fresh off a C-section. Buried under diapers and deadlines at the marketing firm. But gratitude's a blindfold, and she'd tied it tight.
Now,
with the bitter aftertaste of betrayal still fresh from my death, I saw it all clear as the Chicago skyline on a cloudless day. Evelyn wasn't helping, she was infiltrating. Little digs at first. Your mother's recipes are so exotic.
dear.
The kids might prefer something more American. Then the whispers to Mark, my husband, about how I was letting myself go after the babies. How I was too focused on that job instead of family. By the time the twins, Riley and Jax, hit their teens, she'd turned them against me too, subtle at first, then blatant. Dad says Mom's always working late again. Grandma's the only one who really listens. And Mark, he'd lapped it up. The golden boy finally free of his controlling wife, so he could chase his midlife crisis affairs without guilt. But the real knife twist? The secret they'd buried deeper than my body at that cliffside grave. Evelyn's will, forged in her lawyer's office while I slaved away paying their mortgage, left everything to Mark and the kids, with a clause that painted me as the gold digger who'd abandoned the family. She'd planted evidence, doctored emails, fake therapy notes claiming I was unstable. My accident? No accident. Mark had tampered with the brakes, egged on by her promises of freedom and fortune. I'd discovered it too late, confronting them in a rain-soaked driveway, only for the car to malfunction on my drive home. They'd mourn me publicly. Mark's tearful TEDx talk on loss went viral, but privately. They'd toasted with my life insurance payout. $2 million split 3 ways. I swung my legs over the bed, bare feet hitting the cool hardwood. My reflection in the vanity mirror showed wide brown eyes. Dark hair tousled from sleep, not the hollow-cheeked ghost I'd become. This time, I wouldn't play the victim. I'd rewrite the script, starting with breakfast. Quiet steps down the stairs, and there she was, Evelyn, apron tied like a conqueror's sash, flipping pancakes with the precision of a surgeon. Morning. Brooklyn. Sleep well? I thought I'd surprise you all, Blueberry. Your favorite. Her smile was a razor wrapped in velvet. I forced one back, tasting bile. That's thoughtful, Evelyn. Really? I poured coffee, black and scalding, letting it burn my tongue as a reminder. Feel the pain now, so you don't later. Mark shuffled in next, rumpled from his night shift at the fire station, planting a perfunctory kiss on my cheek.
Babe.
Smells amazing. You're a saint, Mom. The twins tumbled down after. Riley with her phone glued to her hand, Jax yawning over his backpack. Family breakfast. The American dream, served with a side of arsenic. As we ate, I watched them, Evelyn's eyes flicking to Mark for approval, the kids shoveling food without a glance my way. This was ground zero, the moment before the cracks spiderwebbed. In my first life, I'd excused a distress, my promotion at work pulling me away, Evelyn's help filling the void. But voids get filled with lies if you're not watching. After the kids left for school, Riley slamming the door over some TikTok drama, Jax muttering about practice, I cornered Mark in the garage. He was tinkering with his truck, grease smudged on his forearms. The man I'd fallen for in college with his easy laugh and promises of forever. We need to talk, I said, voice steady as steel. He wiped his hands, brow furrowing. What's up? You okay? I leaned against the workbench, arms crossed. Your mom's been here every day this week. It's great.
But
I feel like I'm losing my place in my own home. Test the waters. See how deep the rock goes. Mark chuckled. That disarming sound that used to melt me. Come on,
Brooke.
Mom's just helping out. You're killing it at work. Don't sweat it. But his eyes darted. A tell I'd missed before. Guilt? Or calculation? Evelyn's great with the kids. I pressed. But Riley told me yesterday she thinks I'm always mad lately. And Jax? He asked if we were getting divorced because I don't cook anymore. Lies. Seeded from Evelyn's garden of doubt. His face tightened. Kids say crazy stuff. Mom's not turning them against you. She's family. There it was, the line drawn.
Her side.
Already. I nodded, backing off. Phase 1, observe. I'd play the grateful daughter-in-law a little longer. Let her think the hook was still sunk. But inside, the fire raged. That night, after Mark's shift and the kids' bedtime stories, I slipped into his study. The laptop hummed softly, password unchanged since college, our anniversary. Emails first, nothing damning yet, just Evelyn's forwards about estate planning seminars. Then the browser history, searches for brake fluid replacement, dated months from now. My stomach twisted. It started early. Deeper dive, a hidden folder, family future, bank statements, life insurance quotes, mine jacked up without my knowledge. And a text chain with Evelyn. She's suspicious.
Mom.
The will's ironclad, her reply. Trust me, darling. By fall, it'll all be ours. Drive safe on that cliff road. She loves the scenic route. I slammed the laptop shut.
Bilirsin.
Not yet. Evidence first, then the storm. The next week blurred into calculated normalcy. I cut back hours at the firm, voluntarily claiming burnout, all while documenting everything. Hidden camera in the kitchen caught Evelyn rifling through my purse, borrowing cash for groceries. Phone logs showed her calls to a shady PI, digging into my immigrant roots for dirt, make her look unstable, mental health history. Anything. My mom had fled Saigon with nothing but grit, We'd built this life brick by immigrant brick. No skeletons, but she'd fabricate them. Riley's 14th birthday loomed, a milestone in my first life where Evelyn had staged her takeover. The party at the country club, her dime, her rules. Brooklyn.
Dear.
I'll handle the invites. You focus on the cake. I'd baked it myself then, hands shaking from exhaustion, only for her to improve it with store-bought frosting and claim credit. The kids beamed at her, not me. This time, I planned it solo. Evelyn, I appreciate the offer, but I want to do this one. Mother-daughter thing. Her smile faltered. Just a flicker. Of course.
Dear.
Wouldn't dream of interfering. The party was small backyard barbecue. String lights twinkling over the grill. Laughter echoing off the fence. I grilled burgers myself, flipping them with the precision of someone who'd learned survival in a Vietnamese kitchen. The twins devoured them, Jax high-fiving me over his third helping. Best ever, Mom. Riley hugged me tight, whispering, "Thanks for kicking Grandma out this time."
It's
nice. Just us. Mark arrived late, smelling faintly of smoke from a call, but his eyes softened seeing the setup. You pulled this off solo? Impressive, babe. For a second, I saw the man I married, the one who'd proposed under Wrigley Field fireworks. But the seed was there, the doubt Evelyn had planted years ago, waiting to sprout. As dusk fell, Evelyn showed up uninvited, arms laden with a massive gift bag.
Surprise.
Couldn't miss my granddaughter's day. The air shifted, tension coiling like a spring. She thrust the bag at Riley, who peeked inside, a designer phone. Way too extravagant for a kid her age. Grandma, Riley squealed. But I saw the calculation in Evelyn's eyes. By loyalty. That's generous, I said, voice even. But we talked about no big gifts. Screen time rules. Remember? Evelyn's laugh tinkled like breaking glass.
Oh.
Brooklyn, lighten up. It's a special day. Mark. Tell her. He shifted. Uncomfortable. Mom means well.
Brooke.
It's just a phone. The kids watched. Forks hovering. Jax glanced at me. Uncertain. Riley clutched the bag tighter. My heart pounded. This was the fracture point. In my first life.
Idekava.
Smiled through gritted teeth. And the rift widened. This time, I stepped forward, hand gentle on Riley's shoulder. Sweetie, it's beautiful, but Grandma knows our rules. Maybe save it for Christmas. Riley's face crumpled, but she nodded, handing it back. Evelyn's eyes narrowed to slits. Brooklyn, you're being ridiculous. The girl's 14. Enough. My voice cut like a knife through butter. Heads turned. This is my house. My family. You want to play benefactor? Do it from your condo. The words hung. Controversial as hell, calling out the matriarch in front of everyone, risking the ungrateful daughter-in-law label. Mark's jaw dropped. The twins froze. Evelyn drew herself up, all 5'0" of wasp indignation. Mark, are you going to let her speak to me like that? He hesitated, eyes flicking between us. Brooke.
Come on.
Mom's just. She's manipulating you. All of you. The dam broke. I spilled it, not the future knowledge, but the patterns I'd clocked, the digs, the oversteps, the way she turned the kids' ears. Evelyn, you've been helping so long you've forgotten whose life this is. Chaos erupted. Riley burst into tears. Jax muttered, awkward, and Mark grabbed my arm, pulling me aside. What the hell's gotten into you? Mom's family. Family doesn't undermine, I hissed. Ask her about the PI she's got tailing me. Or the advice she's giving you on our marriage. His face paled. Lie or truth? It landed. Evelyn stormed out, slamming the gate, but not before hissing, "You'll regret this." Brooklyn. Blood's thicker than your little tantrums. The party fizzled. Kids retreating to their rooms. Mark followed, silent. I cleaned up alone, the string lights mocking me. Victory? Or the spark that ignites the powder keg? In my first life, this confrontation never happened. I'd swallowed it all until the brakes gave out.
Now.
The game was on. Weeks bled into a Cold War. Evelyn's visits halted, but her texts to Mark ramped up. Your wife's unhinged. Remember what the therapist said? Fake. Of course, I'd never seen one. The kids picked sides subtly. Riley snuck the phone anyway. Jax asked why Grandma's mad at you. Mark worked doubles, avoiding home. I documented it all, screenshots, voicemails, even a nanny cam catching Evelyn's late-night drop-ins when she thought I was asleep, whispering to the kids about your poor dad's stress. All because of Mom. My job at the firm became my war room. Late nights poring over financials, our joint account drained by Evelyn's loans for her lake house reno. I hired a lawyer quietly, a shark named Carla from my immigrant network, who specialized in family law for women like me. Overlooked, overworked, overpowered. Gaslighting grandmas are my specialty, she grinned over Zoom. We'll freeze assets. Petition for separation if needed. But you sure? This could get ugly. Ugly was the point. Revenge wasn't pretty. It was a scalpel to the lies. The first strike, I confronted Mark with the bank statements. Over dinner, takeout Thai. A nod to my roots, he stared at the printouts. Fork midway to mouth. Mom said it was temporary. For the house. The house we pay for, I said. With my bonus. Her help is theft.
Mark.
Wake up. He shoved his plate away. You're paranoid. This is why the kids are pulling away. You're always accusing. The kids.
God.
That hurt. Riley had started skipping family dinners. Glued to that damn phone Evelyn smuggled in. Jax parroted her lines. Mom's too busy for us anyway. The betrayal stung deeper than Mark's. They were mine. Carried and cherished through colic and chaos. I doubled down. Family therapy. My idea. Pitched as for the kids. The counselor,
Dr.
Patel, was no nonsense. Her office smelling of chamomile and tough love. First session, Evelyn insisted on joining. As grandma, I let her bait the trap.
Dr.
Patel laid it out. Boundaries, roles, the poison of enmeshment. Evelyn squirmed, her pearls clicking like teeth. I'm just concerned for my son and grandbabies. Brooklyn so. Independent. Code for controlling, I shot back. Gasps all around. Controversial? Hell yes. Airing dirty laundry in a stranger's office. Painting the saintly Mil as the villain. Mark shifted. Defensive. Brooke. Tone it down. But Dr. Patel zeroed in. Mark.
Whose side are you on here?
Your wife's or your mother's? Silence stretched. Taut as a wire. Evelyn filled it. Family first. Always. The session ended in stalemate. but seeds planted. That night, Riley cornered me in the kitchen. Is Grandma really that bad? She says you're jealous of her bond with us. I knelt. Eye level. Bonds aren't built on secrets.
Kiddo.
She loves you, but she's using you to hurt me. Ask her why she hates that I'm not like her. White. Wealthy. Whatever. Riley's eyes, my eyes, widened. That's racist. Mom. Exactly. The word hung. A grenade. In America, calling out privilege was a minefield, but truth didn't care about politeness. Cracks formed. Jax started joining me for runs, ditching Evelyn's baking sessions. Mark found the hidden folder on his laptop. I'd emailed him screenshots anonymously. His text turned frantic. We need to talk about Mom. Progress. Or panic. Evelyn retaliated. Anonymous complaints to my boss. Unstable employee. Erratic behavior. HR called me in. But I had alibis. Witnesses. Then the big one, a forged letter from concerned family claiming I was abusing the kids emotionally. CPS knock at the door. Social worker eyeing our fridge like it held skeletons. I aced the interview, spotless home. Kids vouching, Riley's doing. After our talk. But the stress etched lines on Mark's face. This has to stop. Brooke. Mom's devastated. Devastated? I laughed.
Bitter.
She's cornered. And you're still choosing her. The ultimatum came that weekend. Over a bottle of Merlot in our bedroom. Door locked against eavesdroppers. Divorce me if you want, I said. Voice steel. But I'll take the kids. The house. Everything. I've got proof, recordings, financials, even her PI's license plate. His face crumpled. Proof of what? That Mom's overbearing? Jesus. Brooklyn, you're destroying us.
No. You did.
The second you let her in. I played the tape, Evelyn's voice. Captured on my phone during a solo visit. Your mother's weak.
Mark.
Vietnamese blood.
You know?
Once you're free, we'll fix the will. The accident plan, break line Nick. Easy. He went white as the sheets. Accident? What the? The future, I won't let happen. Slip of the tongue. But he was too shocked to question. Choose now. Her or us. He chose wrong. Or so he thought. Mom's all I have left of Dad. I'm sorry. The papers filed Monday. Restraining order on Evelyn, stalking, harassment. The kids, briefed gently, chose me. Riley, Grandma's lies suck. Jax, you're tougher. Mom. Court was a circus. Evelyn's lawyer spun tales of my cultural instability, Mark's testimony wavering under cross-exam. But Carla shredded them. Audio evidence, bank trails, witness statements from neighbors who'd seen Evelyn's overnights. The judge, a noble woman from the South Side, banged her gavel. Sole custody to me. Assets frozen. Evelyn's condo leaned for restitution. Chao Treo hit at the final hearing. Evelyn lunged across the aisle, shrieking, "You witch! He's my son!" Security dragged her out, pearls scattering like tears. Mark watched. Broken. Controversial? The headline screamed, MIL meltdown. Immigrant mom wins custody battle against gold-digging in-laws. Viral on Reddit. Debated on Fox Me. The vindictive Asian wife, or hero mom reclaiming her throne? Twist came post-verdict. Mark's confession. In a dimly lit diner off I-90. It wasn't just Mom. I wanted out. The affairs. The pressure. But the brakes? Her idea. I said no. But she did it anyway.
Tears streamed.
Forgive me. I sipped coffee.
Cold now.
Forgiveness is earned. Start with therapy. And staying away till the kids decide. He nodded. Shattered. Evelyn, disowned by her own blood. Rotting in a plea deal for attempted murder. Conspiracy charges stuck. Thanks to my future ghosts. Months later. New house in Evanston, closer to the lake. Farther from ghosts. Riley baked her first cake. Jax coached my runs. Mark, weekend dad. Earning trust one awkward dinner at a time.
Me?
CEO track at work. Dating a barista with tattoos and no baggage. Reborn. I took control. Not with blood, but with a sharp edge of truth. In America, revenge isn't a shot in the dark, it's a spotlight on the lies. And damn, it burned bright. The dust settled, but the echoes lingered like exhaust fumes on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Court victories taste like ash when you're picking up the pieces alone, new locks on the doors. Therapy bills stacking like unpaid parking tickets. The kids' sideways glances asking if daddy's coming back or if grandma's poison runs deeper than we thought. I'd won on paper. Full custody. The house, minus Evelyn's contributions, now clawed back violins. And a settlement that padded my 401k like armor plating. But winning's just the intermission, the real show's in the aftermath, where grudges fester and old habits die screaming. I threw myself into routine, the kind that rebuilds empires one dawn patrol at a time. Up at 5 a.m., pounding pavement along Lakeshore Drive, the wind off the water whipping my ponytail like a flag of surrender or defiance, depending on the day. Jax joined sometimes, his lanky frame keeping pace, grunting questions about why Grandma hated you so much. I dodge with half-truths. Some people see strength and call it a threat. Bud, keep running. It'll carry you farther than hate ever could. Riley was trickier. 13 going on 30. Her world shrunk to filters and followers. Evelyn's ghost haunting every notification.
Mom.
There's this post. Dad's new girlfriend? She's posting pics with Grandma at the club.
I date pik over her shoulder.
Stomach nodding at the blonde arm candy draped over Mark like a status symbol. Evelyn beaming in the background. Unbowed by house arrest.
Blocking.
Your feed's your fortress. Work became sanctuary. The firm promoted me to director. Ironic. After the HR drama, Evelyn stirred. Brooklyn Gwynn, from undervalued account exec to boardroom boss, my boss toasted at the holiday party. Clinking glasses with the mostly white, mostly male suits who now nodded at my ideas instead of interrupting. I mentored the new hires, especially the women of color grinding through the glass ceiling. Document everything. Allies over apologies. And never, ever, let help mean handover. But nights were war zones. Dreams replayed the crash. Tires screeching. Evelyn's voiceover cackling. Weak blood. Weak will.
Idebaka shame.
Checking the garage for tampered hoses. Half expecting Mark's truck idling outside like a bad sequel. Paranoia? Or preparation? In my first life, I'd trusted too much. This one. Trust was a currency I doled out in pennies. Mark tried. God.
Did he try?
Weekend pickups turned into awkward ice cream runs at Mario's. The twins slurping cones while he babbled apologies. I was lost. Brooke.
Mom.
She filled the voids you left with work. Voids? I'd built our life while he played hero at the station. Her helped the Trojan horse that gutted us. Voids you created. I'd counter. Voice low for the kid's sake. But you're here now. Prove it. He did. In fits. Therapy logs shared via email, his counselor's notes on narcissistic enmeshment, Evelyn's shadow long even from afar. Alimony checks arrived on time. No strings. And the twist I'd half suspected, his confession expanded in a coffee-stained notebook, handed over one drizzly afternoon at the park. There was more. Before the will stuff. Dad's death. Not a heart attack.
Mom.
Overdosed him. Pills in his scotch. He was leaving her. Had a girlfriend in Milwaukee. She framed it as suicide. Got the insurance. Told me to man up, or she'd do the same to me. My blood ran cold. The secret within the secret, Evelyn. Not just a meddler, but a murderer. Mark's eyes. Haunted. I covered for her. Kept quiet. Thought it'd protect the family. But it poisoned everything. The apple didn't fall. It rotted on the branch. Why tell me now? Because you're the only one who saw through her.
And
I love you still. Not like before, but real. For the kids. For us. Maybe. I walked away. Notebook burning in my bag. Forgiveness? A luxury for the unbroken. But information? Power. I forwarded it to Carla, anonymous tip line for the DA. Evelyn's plea deal? Ripped up. New charges. Manslaughter. Conspiracy. Her lake house auctioned. Proceeds to a victim's fund. Poetic. In that Midwestern way. The kids felt the shift. Riley unfollowed the girlfriend. Started a journal club at school, mostly girls like her. Dissecting toxic family dynamics in YA novels. Jax joined debate. Arguing for immigrant resilience in class. Earning eye rolls from the trust fund kids, but a proud fist bump from me. Your weapons. Not wounds. I'd tell them over phone nights. Broth steaming with lemongrass ghosts of my mom's kitchen. They laughed, but understood. We'd survived the siege. Controversy brewed online. Of course. My story leaked, redacted. But enough. Chicago mom's revenge porn on MIL. Custody win or cultural clash? Pundits on CNN debated Asian family values versus American individualism, ignoring that Evelyn's values were WASP supremacy wrapped in potlucks. Trolls flooded my LinkedIn. Go back to Vietnam. Gold digger. I blocked. Breathed. Blogged anonymously on Medium. Reclaiming Control, a survivor's guide to toxic in-laws. It went viral, thousands of shares. DMs from women worldwide. You gave me words for my silence. Mark's girlfriend bailed post-scandal. Evelyn's perfect match crumbling under the glare. He showed up solo at Jax's soccer game, cheering from the bleachers like a penitent. Post-whistle. He approached. Hands in pockets. Heard about the new charges. You? I shrugged, wiping turf from my jeans. Truth has a way of surfacing. Like oil spills. He nodded.
I'm testifying.
Against her. Full truth. The courtroom redux was quieter.
No teatrix.
Evelyn, gaunt in orange, glared daggers as Mark took the stand. She killed my father. Plan the same for Brooklyn. I enabled it. Cowardice. Not love. Gasps rippled. Her lawyer objected futilely. Verdict. Guilty. 20 to life. No parole. As they led her away,
She spat.
ungrateful brats. Blood betrays. Outside. Rain slicked the steps. Mark turned to me, rain-matted hair, eyes searching. Free now. All of us. Not free, I said. Accountable. The kids hugged him goodbye, tentative, thawing. Riley whispered, "Don't screw it up, Dad." Rebuilding started small, joint counseling,
No romance.
just co-parenting boot camp. Mark moved to a studio in Logan Square, close enough for drop-offs, far from temptations. I dated casually, an architect from the firm, drinks at the violet hour. His laugh easy but no spark. Control meant choices, not chains. One crisp fall evening, leaves crunching underfoot, we walked the Mag Mile as a foursome, impromptu, testing. Riley linked arms with me, Jax with Mark, the skyline glittering like absolution. Feels normal, Jack said. Normal's overrated, I replied. This is better, ours. But twists linger in the shadows. A letter arrived months later. Evelyn scrawl from prison. You think you won? The blood's tainted. Your mother sins. Ask about the war debts she fled. I know. Bluff. Or buried bomb. My mom had died clean. Stories sealed. But doubt wormed in. I burned it. Ashes scattering on the wind. Secrets die with their keepers. Mine? I'd unearth, if needed. But not today.
Today.
I ran the show Brooklyn Gwyn, director of my damn life. Winter gripped Chicago like a grudge. Ice sheathing the bean in a crystalline armor that mirrored my own hardening edges. The kids thrived in the chill, Riley captaining the debate team. Her closing arguments, slicing opponents like hot knives through butter, Jax scoring hat tricks on the ice rink. His slapshot a thunderclap of reclaimed fury. Mark, steady Eddie, picking up shifts, attending every recital without fanfare. We'd graduated to family game nights, Monopoly marathons where I'd bankrupt him gleefully. A petty payback for old debts. You're ruthless. Gwen, he'd grin, tossing fake hotels my way. Always was. But peace is a fragile truce in the heartland, prone to blizzards that bury the unwary. The letter's ashes haunted me. Evelyn's taunt a splinter under the nail. Your mother sins. Mom, Lon had been my anchor. Fleeing 75 fall of Saigon with a toddler, me, and stories swallowed like bitter herbs. We start clean here. Con, she'd say, kneading dough for banh mi in our Albany Park walk-up.
Debts?
Whispers of wartime loans. Black market deals to survive the camps. I'd buried her with those ghosts. But Evelyn's web spun wide, her PI files. Seized in the raid. Hinted at international dirt. Curiosity morphed to compulsion. Late nights in my office. Door cracked for the kids' nightlight glow. I dove digital. Ancestry sites. FOIA requests to State Department archives. Vietnamese expat forums buzzed with echoes. Families shattered by reparation scams. Ghost debts from the old regime funneled through American banks. Mom's name surfaced in a redacted cable. Lan Ting Nguyen. Suspected collaborator asset liquidation. Fled with undeclared funds. Collaborator? She'd been a nurse. Patching Viet Cong and ARVN alike.
Or so she said.
The call came from Hanoi. A cousin I'd never met. Voice crackling over satellite. Brooklyn? Land's girl? The old woman's reaching out, Evelyn. Says she has proof. For a price. Proof of what? Mom's theft. Gold bars smuggled in a hollowed Bible. Enough to buy our first home. Evelyn's angle. Leverage from the grave. Or whatever hell she'd clawed into. I flew economy. The twins with Mark for spring break. Hanoi assaulted with humidity and horns. A cacophony of lives reborn from ashes. Cousin Min met me at Noi Bai. Her smile wary. Evelyn contacted through a fixer. Claims Lon owed the family, war bride's dowries. Funneled wrong. We drove to the old quarter. Motorbikes swarming like angry bees. To a dim tea house where the fixer waited, slick suit. Shark eyes. MS. Nguyen, he purred.
Sliding a dossier.
Photos. Mom young. Arm in arm with a GI, not dad, but a colonel, laughing under palm fronds. Letters. Coded. Funds secure. Stateside soon. The twist gutted me, not theft, but payment. Mom hadn't stolen. She'd earned, betting the enemy for passage. Gold her blood price for freedom. Evelyn knew? I whispered. Tracked your mother's visa app. Blackmailed her silence for years. Keep quiet, or I expose the whore. When Lon died, she turned to you. Rage boiled. Hot as faux broth. Evelyn hadn't just targeted me, she'd haunted generations. Her old money built on immigrant graves. I paid the fixer, nominal, foreclosure, and burned the dossier in a temple courtyard. Incense curling like exorcism. Mom's sins? Survival. Mine? Vengeance. Refined. Back stateside. The bloom of spring mocked the rot. I confronted Mark over dim sum in Chinatown, steam rising like unspoken truths. Your mom knew about Lon. Used it to control her. To control us. His chopsticks clattered. What? How? Doesn't matter. It's over. But it wasn't. Evelyn's final play, a prison-smuggled phone call to Riley. Voice syrup again. Grandma's dying.
Sweetie.
Come see me? Tell your mom forgive. Or lose everything.
Cancer.
Stage 4. The hook sunk deep. Riley begged. Tears carving tracks. She's family.
Mom.
Even bad ones. Controversial crossroads. Deny a dying woman's last grasp. Or risk the kids' hearts. Forums raged when it leaked. Evelyn's doing? No doubt vindictive mom dooms dying MIL. Heartless or heroic? I waded over sleepless miles on the L train. City lights blurring to accusations. We went. Supermax visiting room. Plexiglass grimy as guilt. Evelyn. Withered to bone. Oxygen mask fogging her spite. Brooklyn. Come to gloat.
No.
To end it. The kids flanked me. Hands cold in mine. Tell them the truth. All of it. Her laugh rasped. Truth? Your mother's a traitor, sold herself for scraps. I protected Mark from that taint. Riley gasped. Jack stiffened. Mark. Beside us. Finally snapped. You protected nothing. You destroyed. Evelyn's eyes. Milky now. Locked on mine. Hate me. But blood. Blood's what we make. I cut in. You poisoned yours. We're done. I stood, pulling the kids. Her plea chased. Wait. The gold, it's yours. Hidden in the lake house safe. Take it. Mercy. Mercy? The word soured. But the code she whispered, coordinates. Combo, unlocked more than vaults. We left her wheezing, the guard's hand gentle on her shoulder. Outside. Jax vomited in the scrub. Riley sobbed into my coat. Mark drove us home. Silent miles cracking with I'm sorry, yes. The safe yielded bonds. Deeds. Evelyn's empire.
Ill-gotten.
Liquidated ethically. Scholarships for immigrant daughters. A clinic in Hanoi for war widows. Mom's gold. Full circle. Evelyn died a week later. Alone. Obituary a footnote in the Tribune. No service. We scattered her ashes in Lake Michigan. Wind claiming what family wouldn't. Mark and I, co-parents extraordinaire. Sparks flickering to flame over summer barbecues. Tentative kisses under fireflies. His hand steady on mine. Second chances, he murmured. The kids, architects of their own. Riley penned an op-ed, forgiving the unforgivable, my grandma's legacy of lies. Jax got scouted for hockey. Jersey number 2, for Twiceborn.
Me?
Brooklyn Gwynn. No longer victim. Villain. Or vixen, just Victor. In the city of big shoulders, I carried mine wide. For Lon. For the twins. For the woman who died choking on betrayal but rose spitting fire. Control reclaimed. Story rewritten. Fade to credits?
Nah.
In America, the sequel's always loading.